What's up, Juventini? Alberto here. This is the HAC, your channel dedicated to Juventus. All right, so do me a favor, smash that subscribe button if you love Juve as well. I've got you covered on all the latest news to May 23rd. And of course, we finally get the news we've been waiting for on Thiago Motta becoming the next coach of Juventus. And that's just the first piece of the puzzle, because now we have to form the squad. So the latest on player rumors as far as transfers go, contract renewals, etc. And yesterday, the Europa League final, we obviously had a big target playing in that one, but there was someone else who was linked with Juventus earlier on in the season who had one hell of a game. And should Juventus be changing plans in the middle of the park? And then, of course, look ahead to our final match of the season against Monza. All right, so let's get into it. And of course, we're going to kick things off with the bomb today. That, in fact, what we were all expecting to happen and what we were waiting for did go down. Today, Thiago Motta informed Bologna of his desire to move on. There was an official statement put out by Bologna thanking the coach for his work, for his efforts, and of course, etching his name in the club's history by having them qualify for Champions League. Now, all sources saying the deal with Juventus is imminent. We just wait for it to be announced, and it is expected to be coming very, very soon. Thiago Motta becomes the next coach of Juventus. All but done, waiting for that final signature, all right? And you won't find one person that is saying otherwise. They are all saying that is it. Mirko Di Natale told us yesterday that is the only coach Juventus has worked on for quite some time. So now it's just there for the signature, but that's the first step. We all waiting and anticipating with great excitement this new era, this new chapter around Juventus. But we do have to be realistic. The squad needs help. All right, so that's just the first piece of the puzzle. But yes, very exciting for Thiago Motta. But the squad, Cambiaso. What's going to happen with Cambiaso? He is getting serious interest abroad. Well, Juventus, they're not wasting any time, and they've offered him a 2-year extension, all right? And that's going to put him around to 2029 at 2.5 million euros for salary. And apparently, it had a positive reaction from the player and his entourage. So look for this renewal to be signed very, very soon. Daniele Rugani has agreed to his contract renewal. It's going to be to 2026 with an option for 2027. He is set to take a 30% pay cut, all right? It is next to impossible to not like this guy, all right? There was a point in time where every time he stepped in, he was a problem and he wasn't reliable, etc. But now he has found his game. He has found a way to become that stability coming off the bench, and he is willing to take a pay cut. He is willing to remain, has always wanted to be around Juventus. Bravo to Rugani. I have absolutely no problems with this renewal, all right? Now, in terms of McKennie, all signs are pointing to the fact that Juve will sell this player if a good offer comes in, all right? So that looks like a little bit of the shakeup going there. In terms of targets coming in, Di Gregorio has been one of the main targets for Juventus, and apparently the deal is very, very close, and this is coming to us from several sources, so this one could get wrapped up early in the mercado. Calafiori, hey, the news of Motta coming in and signing, this should be a major piece of leverage for Juventus to wrap this move up. We were hearing the rumors about his price going up, but and obviously competition there. Players' will is always huge. If his will is to remain with Motta and now come to Juventus as well, the two are one now, Motta and Juventus. This helps us big time for Calafiori. The midfield. Yesterday we had one of our main targets, Koopmanners, play in the Europa League final. Obviously, Atalanta putting in one hell of a performance and winning against an undefeated side, Bayer Leverkusen, all right? And we watched Koopmeiners play a great game, in my opinion. He looked very, very strong. 60 million euro, the price tag, all right? Maybe a little bit more. Many Juventini have always felt that is way too much money. I don't think 60 million is too much for him. I just think it might be too much for us because of the work we have to do. But in that final, there was a different midfielder that caught my eye, and that was Ederson. And Ederson was linked with Juventus around the winter mercado as somebody that Juve had eyes on. If we could bring in Ederson, he was an absolute beast. Actually, he's had a great season. I think he's a solid midfielder, all right? And I think he definitely would be an upgrade on certain guys we've had around this season. Thuram's price has dropped. Ederson would be available at significantly less than Koopmeiners. Samardzic. Maybe we scrap Koopmeiners and maybe you bring in Thuram, Ederson, and Samardzic all together at a price very close to that 60, 70 million that you're looking for Koopmeiners. It'd probably be around that price tag, but now you get 3 players that should help. I know that none out of those 3 are really going to bring the offense desired in terms of what Koopmeiners could do. However, the missing link is nobody's really talking about Fagioli enough and what he could do in helping the offense. So maybe there's better strength in numbers, and maybe this should be a plan Juventus should be looking at. What do you think about it? Hit me in the comments, everybody, all right? And last but not least, that Fagioli expected to start in the final match of the season against Monza, and Sandro, that is set to be his farewell. Will he get another appearance and be able to tie Pavel Nedved? He can no longer take the lead, but maybe, just maybe, he gets an appearance in his farewell game, and that would tie him and put him level with Pavel Nedved. Look, the farewell, he deserves a proper send-off. The overextended stay at Juventus had nothing to do with him. It was not his fault, all right? He took the contracts and the deals that were put forth to him. But one thing's for sure, he did give his all every time he went out there for us, so he deserves a proper send-off, all right? And he should be getting it against Monza. We should also expect something for Max Allegri from the fans there, all right? So that wraps up your news break, but of course, the big one, we just wait for that final signature, but the new era begins with Thiago Motta. How do you feel about all the news? You know the drill. Hit me in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the content. Until tomorrow, as always, everybody, fino alla fine, forza Juventus. Ciao tutti.